Hey guys, what's going on? This is Fred2266. Turn the light on. Here! And today I'm here to show you, well, try at least to show you all my DVD collection. It's pretty big. You know, I'm sure other people's are bigger, but I was inspired by my friend Jason because he made it. And I don't have a cute cat to show off along with it, but whatever, man. I'll just fucking do it. Okay. Yeah, alright. Starting over here. I don't have them packed out on my bed. I'm too lazy. So yeah. Ignore all the ponies. These are all games, but over here we got a few DVDs. Payback 2014. Never opened 2013, sorry. Never opened it. It's brand new, but I've seen the pay-per-view. It's a great pay-per-view. Obviously, as a huge wrestling fan, over half my DVD collection is wrestling DVDs. So, you know, that's just me. Some great matches on here. I don't remember anything about Cena versus Ryback, so maybe that's just, I don't remember shit about that. I think it sucked. But Dolph Ziggler Del Rio, this was the famous double turn, where Ziggler turned face and Del Rio turned heel. It was very well done. It was a great match as well. These two always have great matches. CM Punk versus Chris Jericho. This was CM Punk's return to WWE. And, well, he won. It was an awesome match. The Shield, Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton and Daniel Bryan. An odd tag team. This was during the whole Daniel Bryan is a weak link storyline. And the Shield had just won the tag team titles, so you knew they weren't going to lose it. But it was a great match as well. Curtis Axel won the IC title on Father's Day, so that made Mr. Perfect proud. Dean Ambrose versus Kane. I think this match ended in count out. I don't remember it being very good. Not that Dean Ambrose or Kane are bad, but I just don't really remember it being all too memorable. And Caitlyn versus AJ Lee. AJ Lee's record-setting reign as Divas Champion began. It was probably one of the best Divas matches you will see on WWE television, since probably Mickie James and Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 22. Now, it has been beaten by the likes of Natalya versus Charlotte at NXT TakeOver a few months ago. But, god damn it, this camera's zooming in. Fuck this shit. Right, whatever. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. Pretty good pay-per-view, from what I remember. Never been opened. Now I gotta jam the damn thing in there. Alright. Ah! It's so fucking... Oh, God. Hold on. Jesus. This is a nightmare. This is a fucking disaster. Alright, got it. Extreme Rules 2013. Brock Lesnar, Triple H. That was a feature match for some reason. It was a good match, but I'll never understand why they don't feature the championship matches. Not the world title, because that was pretty much garbage back at this time, but the WWE title, man. Why will that never be featured? I don't understand. Let's see, this one does not have the match card, but Ryback versus John Cena, I believe in a last man standing match, which I don't think was very good. I don't really remember. I didn't like that feud, so it doesn't really matter to me. This was the night where the Shield reigned supreme. Dean Ambrose beat Kofi Kingston to become the new United States champion, and Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins beat Team Hell No to become tag team champions, and they had all the mid-card titles. And hopefully one day they'll all have the world title, which should be awesome. Sheamus, Mark Henry, strap match, horrible match. That's all there is to it. I would go out of my way to avoiding that. I mean, I guess if you like big man brawls, but strap matches, what the fuck? No, I don't remember it being very good. Let's see, what else happened? There's An I Quit match, Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger, which was very good. That was the first and to date only match in WB history with instant replays. So I guess that's pretty cool to see. If you want to see that, why not? I don't remember anything else. Triple H Brock Lesnar, good match. Steel cage match. I guess that's why they didn't feature the WB title match, because it sucked. Alright, how are we gonna... I have no room on this thing. Ah! Alright. Now we're moving down here. There's only 2 up there. Moving down here. Guess we'll start over here. The Royal Rumble 2013 with The Rock on the cover. Del Rio versus Big Show, world title last man standing match. I was very surprised by the series of matches Del Rio and Big Show had. They were very good. I usually don't praise Big Show. I don't think he's really anything special. He's just a big guy, so I don't really see anything special in him. He bores me to tears. But they had a really good match here, and Del Rio conquered the Giant. The Royal Rumble match, John Cena won it. I think Ryback should have, but John Cena eliminated Ryback, final 2 to win, and go on to have twice in a lifetime versus The Rock at WrestleMania. Team Hell No versus Team Rhodes Scholars, a good tag team title match. And CM Punk versus The Rock, a great match, in my opinion. I think their Elimination Chamber rematch next month was better. But, of course, people are never going to give this match any credit because it's all about CM Punk losing the title. Was it the wrong decision? Yes, but I didn't like it, and a lot of people didn't like it. But it was a great match. We have to give it that, and I will give it that. Their Elimination Chamber rematch was better to me, though. But still, the Royal Rumble, this was the one where I believe all 3 commentators... Or that's 2012. 2012 was when Michael Cole, Booker T, and Jerry Lawler were all in the Royal Rumble, which was a waste of 3 spots. God damn it! What the fuck? I think I meant to leave one of these DVDs out to make it easier to get things. Right back in Royal Rumble 2012. All the guys on the cover. The Royal Rumble match, Sheamus won this. I figured Jericho would. The returning Chris Jericho would win, but no, he got eliminated by Sheamus. But it's okay because usually the runner-up in the Royal Rumble gets a title match at WrestleMania anyway. So Chris Jericho was okay. He faced CM Punk. So what the hell? Daniel Bryan versus Mark Henry versus the Big Show triple threat steel cage match. I was utterly shocked when Daniel Bryan won this match. I figured he had no chance. I figured they let Mark Henry win it. I'm shocked they gave Daniel Bryan as much of a run with the title as he did. I guess I just wanted to beat that match record for the shortest match at WrestleMania, which didn't even happen, by the way. But I guess that was early endgame. Not a very good match, you know. What would you expect? I like Mark Henry, but he's never been known to be a great wrestler or Big Show. Daniel Bryan, definitely, but it just wasn't a very good match. But Daniel Bryan pulled out a shocking victory. What was a great match, however, was CM Punk versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE Championship. This was right smack dab in the middle of CM Punk's 434-day reign as WWE Champion. John Laurinaitis was a special referee. Besides that, he called it right down the middle, and it was a great match. And John Cena versus Kane. Not a very good match. And they had an even worse match next month when they main evented the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. They're the main event. That's fucking retarded. But, oh well. The Royal Rumble match was... yeah, it was good. But like I said, there were 3 wasted entrants with all the commentators. There's no reason for them to be in a match. 2 of them are retired, and Michael Cole's never an actual fucking wrestler, so... Survivor Series 2009. I've never, like I said, I have opened it, but the top thing up here has never been opened because these are annoying to open. This was a very interesting Survivor Series. The 2 world title matches were both triple threat matches. Not only that, but the triple threat matches contained the champion defending their title against a tag team. John Cena defended the WWE Championship against DX, Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and Undertaker defended the world title against Jericho, Big Show and Chris Jericho. So it was very odd. It was different. I liked it back then. I still do. This was the famous match where a fan shouted at Chris Jericho, "Go back to Toronto," and Chris Jericho spouted with, "I'm from Winnipeg, you idiot." So that's infamous. It's a great wrestling meme. Yeah, I don't really remember much about the WWE Championship match. It was probably good with the 3 athletes involved. The World Title match was great. And the Survivor Series matches are always nice little matches. I don't really remember anything specific about them. This is the one where I do remember Kofi Kingston eliminated 3 guys in a row, I believe. I believe it was DiBiase, Rose, and then Orton in a span of like 25 seconds. So that was his breakout performance, and then he did the boom drop on Randy Orton off in Madison Square Garden for a table, and he was getting the biggest push of his career. And then the next month he got squashed by Randy Orton at TLC, and has never gotten out of mid-card hell from then. So yeah, nice little Survivor Series payoff for a career that could have been so much more. Rey Mysterio and Batista, I don't remember anything about them. I'm sure it was good. I don't really remember anything about it. I think I may have been where Batista said, a fan said to him, "I hate you, Batista," and he said, "I hate you too." I'm not sure though. Okay, the 100 best moments in Raw history. All the moments you would expect to see on here. You know, Snitsky punting a baby. Shawn Michaels getting his head smashed through the Geratron, John Cena being drafted to Raw, The Rock's return in 2011, all the Austin McMahon stuff, the Corvette, the Zamboni, all those moments, Kane unmasking, Batista quitting, all the stuff you would expect. So, I'd recommend it for historical value, but you could find any of these moments on YouTube. But this would probably be the highest quality you could find some of them in. Also contains the 1000th episode of Raw, which was a good show. You know, it was a spectacle. It wasn't much of wrestling, but it was when CM Punk turned heel and Lita faced Heath Slater, and an amazing cameo by Mae Young and Mark Henry's son, Hand. I cracked up, so I guess it's worth it if you are into historical value. But you could find all of these moments on YouTube. So, but, you know, it's up to you. Royal Rumble 2007. This was 2007. One of the best last man standing matches of all time. John Cena versus Umaga. Mr. Kennedy versus Batista for the world title. I don't remember if it was good or not. Bobby Lashley versus Test. I don't remember anything. I'm sure it wasn't that good. And the Royal Rumble match is actually a very good one as well. Especially the final 10 minutes or so. Edge, Randy Orton, Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels were the final 4. When it got down to Taker and Michaels, it got really good. They had like a singles match in and of itself 2 years before their classic first match at WrestleMania 25. So it's a nice little spoiler, nice little teaser for what was to come at future WrestleManias. Undertaker won that match. That was really good. I'm sure there was some other stuff there. Maybe a Divas match. Who cares? Put that in there. Get that in there. Get that fucking in there. Vengeance 2011. I've had this for 2.5 years now, and it's still never been opened. I've watched the pay-per-view though, so nothing really to worry about. John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio, last man standing match for the WWE Championship. It was a great match. These two had good chemistry as well. So, Big Show versus Mark Henry, not a very good match, but as you can see, they broke the ring. They copied off Lesnar and Big Show at SmackDown 2003. So, again, very early description of the WB creative team being very creative despite their job description. Triple H and CM Punk versus The Miz and R-Truth. Punk and Triple H But did I say that wrong? And Triple H and CM Punk versus Awesome Truth, and Triple H and Punk teamed up a month after their great match at Night of Champions, where CM Punk should have won but did not, and got his whole Summer of Punk push and dethroned. But hey, whatever. Divas champion Beth Phoenix versus Eve for the title. A pretty good Divas match by all standards. Eve took a glam slam off the top rope and Beth won. And U.S. title, Dolph Ziggler versus Zack Ryder. I did not realize Zack Ryder had a title shot for TLC a few months later, but I guess he did. Dolph won, obviously. Sheamus versus Christian, a good match. Those two always had good matches. Of course, Christian never won any of them, but whatever. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, non-title match. Rhodes was the Intercontinental Champion at that time. Again, these two always had great chemistry, so it was good. And another good match, Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger versus Air Boom. Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne. Who? Yeah, who's Evan Bourne? I forgot. I don't know. Some druggie or something. That was also a good match for the tag team titles. Okay. Elimination Chamber 2013. A good show. A really good show. I find Elimination Chamber pay-per-views are always pretty good. The Rock, CM Punk, and the Royal Rumble rematch. I think this match was better than a Royal Rumble match. It was really great. Rock won. And Del Rio versus Big Show. This match was not as good as Royal Rumble, but still good. This had the infamous bucket botch where Del Rio tried to kick a bucket in the Big Show's head, and he missed, and Big Show no-sold it, so that was pretty funny. Oh, and The Shield versus John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus. One of The Shield's countless amazing matches from 2013. Not just from pay-per-view, but all of WWE TV. I mean, The Shield were on fire all year. They were, to me, the MVPs of WWE last year. And this was an awesome match. Only their second televised match after TLC in 2012. And they won. They were always booked strongly. Always. And the Antonio Cesaro versus The Miz. Pretty bad match by all accounts. I mean, you know, not the very best opponent for Cesaro. His last real feud, because he lost the title to Kofi Kingston, I think the week after WrestleMania. So whatever. Caitlyn versus Tamina. It may have been good. I don't remember. It was Tamina's first defense of the Divas title. I know that much. In the Elimination Chamber match, again, the championship match was the main event, and the world title match, that don't mean shit. So, whoever won this Elimination Chamber match got to be in the main event of WrestleMania, or, you know, the third match on the card, by all accounts. But it was a great match. It was Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan versus Chris Jericho versus Mark Henry versus Kane versus Jack Swagger. Really great match. Probably one of the best Elimination Chamber matches in pay-per-view. Elimination Chamber pay-per-view matches. The first one was the best. That's what I would say. First one in Survivor Series 2002. But this one was pretty great in its own right. Jack Swagger pulled out the upset victory, which really shocked me. Armageddon 2008. What happened here? Very sinister Chris Jericho on the cover. This was during the best days of his career. John Cena versus Chris Jericho. I don't remember how this match was. It was probably great. The month before, I do know John Cena returned in his home state of Massachusetts to beat Jericho after he was injured at SummerSlam in his match with Batista. Batista versus Randy Orton. I think this was Batista's first match back as well. I'm not quite sure. I'm sure it was good. Rey Mysterio versus CM Punk. I do remember this match. This was a really great match. Whoever won would face William Regal at an upcoming Raw, and then CM Punk won. It was a great match. And for like a month, him and Regal had classic matches on Raw until he won this title. Punk did in his hometown Chicago in January of 2009. Finlay versus Mark Henry. Probably a bad match. Who knows? Santa's Little Helper Divas Tag Team match. Who the fuck cares? Triple threat match for the WWE Championship. Edge versus Triple H versus Jeff Hardy. This was Jeff Hardy's night. He was my favorite wrestler back then, and I was really happy when he won the title on this night. He had a big celebration, and of course he had a 1-month title reign. All that hard work for a shitty 1-month title reign. So, yeah, great. Thanks, Jeff. Good for you. Missed opportunity, in my opinion. Speaking of Armageddon, Armageddon 2003. Triple threat match for the world title. Kane versus Goldberg versus Triple H. Goldberg, his whole entire WWE run pretty much sucked. That's why he wasn't there for a year. He left after his first WrestleMania. So this match wasn't very good in my opinion. Shawn Michaels versus Batista was a good match, and Batista's, I think it was his first pay-per-view ever, and I think he won. No, I think he lost. I don't really remember. Rob Van Dam versus Randy Orton. This was Evolution ruled this night. Triple H won the world title. Orton had a great match with Rob Van Dam and won the Intercontinental title, and then Batista and Ric Flair won the World Tag Team titles in a Tag Team Turmoil Gauntlet match. Booker T versus Mark Henry, probably not very good. Trish Stratus and Lita versus Chris Jericho and Christian, the battle of the sexes. They would not get away with doing this now today. So, a pretty good match and a pretty good concept in all reality. So, yeah. You know, whatever. WrestleMania 23. Live from Detroit. This WrestleMania is pretty good. There have been much better ones, but this one was pretty good. Chris Benoit versus MVP. Chris Benoit's last WrestleMania. It was a good match. He retained the title. Kane versus Great Khali. I don't mind. Fuck it. Who cares? Probably horrible. Melina versus Ashley in the Lumberjill match. It was an okay match. Sandman, Rob Van Dam, Tommy Dreamer, and Sabu versus Marcus Corvan. The Pounce, baby. Kevin Thorne, Matt Striker, and Elijah Burke. This was the first ECW full match at WrestleMania history. Speaking of ECW, CM Punk was the first ever ECW superstar to compete at WrestleMania. This is in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He faced Edge, King Booker, Jeff Hardy, Mr. Kennedy, Matt Hardy, Finlay, and Randy Orton. This was the match where Mr. Kennedy became Money in the Bank. Mr. Money in the Bank. Then he got injured a few months later, so he had to drop the briefcase to Edge. And Edge became world champion 6 days later by beating Undertaker. Hair versus Hair, Bobby Lashley fighting for Donald Trump versus Umaga fighting for Mr. McMahon. Whoever lost got their head shaved. And I think we all know that Mr. McMahon got his head shaved. It was classic. And they played I Got the Bald-Headed Blues, so pretty cool. Batista versus Undertaker for the World Championship. Everyone says that this match stole the show. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I remember being bored by this match. I haven't seen it in 3 years, mind you. Maybe my opinions changed, but I just don't remember thinking it was okay at best. That's just my opinion. To me, what stole the show was the actual main event. John Cena versus Shawn Michaels. This was before their whole 1 hour match at in London, which was one of the best Raw matches you'll ever see. Maybe the best Raw match you'll ever see. This is one of the best WrestleMania main events of all time to me. Just a classic match. John Cena bled in the back of his head. Just a great match. And proof that John Cena can wrestle. It's not just his opponents carrying him. And he had a pretty cool entrance at Ford Field. Driving a Ford. What else? No Mercy 2008. Jeff Hardy's being tortured, because why not? He always tortures his body. Matt Hardy versus Mark Henry, ECW Championship match. Probably good. I don't know. Beth Phoenix versus Candice Michelle. Probably bad. Rey Mysterio versus Kane. I don't remember shit about this pay-per-view. So, it might have been good. I don't know. Batista versus JBL. May have been good. I don't know. Once again, it was #1 contender match for the World Championship. I'm pretty sure Batista would have won. Undertaker versus Big Show. I think the month before it was a casket match, and Vicky Guerrero turned on the Undertaker and turned heel. No, Big Show turned heel the month before. Vicky was gonna be tombstone by Undertaker, and Big Show turned heel. Triple H versus Jeff Hardy for the WWE Championship. Not really good match. I do remember this match. Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels. Probably one of the best matches of 2008. This was during a time where Jericho was doing the best work in his career, not only on the mic, but in the ring. And his ladder match with his idol, Shawn Michaels, was no different. He won the championship the month before in the championship scramble. And I couldn't think of a better opponent in your first title defense. So, great match. Oh. Hold on. WrestleMania 21. Excuse me. One of my favorite WrestleManias. Pretty underrated one, in my opinion. It went Hollywood. Pretty cool movie cameos. Little mock parody trailers throughout the night. But the wrestling's what mattered, so. Triple H versus Batista was the main event, and it was an awesome match to me. Batista. 2 stars were born in this night. Batista and John Cena. One of them is still in the company. Well, they're both in the company, but one's there every night and the other's making crappy movies. So, you tell me which one had the better impact. But anyway, I do believe Triple H Batista was a better match. John Cena JBL was okay. It was average. I'm not really a fan of JBL's wrestling, but he's good on the mic. But that's about it. So John Cena won the WWE title. Batista won the world title. Big Show versus Akibono sumo match. Entertaining, but it's not meant to be a good match. It's a sumo match, not a wrestling match. Piper's Pit with Stone Cold and Carlito came in and got fucked up. It's pretty entertaining. The best match of the night is definitely Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle. It's one of the best WrestleMania matches you'll ever see. Trish Stratus versus Christy Hemme. Okay match. The first ever Money in the Bank ladder match, which Edge won. He faced Chris Jericho and Chris Benoit and Shelton Benjamin and Christian and Kane. This was only 6. And a few WrestleManias later, they had 10. So they kind of beat it up a bit. And now it's back down to 7 or 8. And one of the best opening matches in WrestleMania. Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. A really fun, great opening match. Oh, and Undertaker versus Randy Orton. Another great match. This was a really great WrestleMania for wrestling. That's why they called it WrestleMania. And to me, it lived up to its name. Breakout performance by Randy Orton. Alright. Okay. SummerSlam, the Complete Anthology, Volume 4, 2003 to 2007. Some of my favorite SummerSlams are in this collection. These are really good for collections purposes. 2003, we got La Resistance versus the Dudley Boys for the World Tag Team titles. Probably a good match. Undertaker versus A-Train, I think it was good. Shane McMahon versus Eric Bischoff. Probably a good match, all things considered. I mean, neither Bischoff or Shane were good wrestlers, but Shane was a great brawler. He always put his body on the line. It was very entertaining. Fatal 4-way match for the U.S. title. Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit versus Tajiri and Rhino versus Rhino. A good match. To me, the match of the night was Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. in their WrestleMania rematch for the WWE Championship. Rob Van Dam versus Kane in a really good match, false count anywhere. And the main event was the Elimination Chamber match. Triple H versus Chris Jericho versus Shawn Michaels versus Goldberg versus Kevin Nash versus Randy Orton. Many wrestling fans to this day still say that they should have made Goldberg champion on this night, and I do agree, but it's not like his run as world champion was anything special anyway, so, whatever. Then moving on to 2004, Spike Dudley and the Dudleys versus Rey Mysterio, Paul London, and Billy Kidman. This was during Spike's time as Cruiserweight champion. And the little guy, finally got to shine. He was a little fucking heel, little punk. Kane versus Matt Hardy, whoever got to win, married Lita. Kane won, and then Lita had sex with a demon, so that's cool. The match won in the best of 5 series for the undisputed United States Championship. John Cena versus Booker T, a good match. Batista versus Chris Jericho versus Edge, triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship, also a good match. Eddie Guerrero versus Kurt Angle, also a great match, not a good match. Triple H versus Eugene, a good match with some good storytelling in there. Diva Dodgeball for the Fappers. JBL versus Undertaker for the WWE Championship. JBL did not know how to lose during his 8-month reign as champion, so of course he won. And the match of the night, Chris Benoit versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton's breakout performance. He became the youngest World Heavyweight Champion of all time and gained Chris Benoit's respect in the process. It's a shame that nobody will remember this match because Benoit did what he did, but it is a great match, all things considered. Okay, 2005, Chris Benoit versus Orlando Jordan for the U.S. title. I think the shortest SummerSlam match in history of 21-point-something seconds Benoit won the title with. Edge versus Matt Hardy. A really good brawl. Edge won because of loss of blood. The referee stopped the match. A great ladder match. Randy Orton versus Eddie Guerrero for the custody of Rey's son, Dominic. Vicky Guerrero was supposed to interfere in the match and push Eddie off the ladder because, he's trying to steal Rey's son. It's not his son. It's Rey's son. But she missed her call, Vicky did, and Eddie was just at the top of the ladder, screaming, "Where the fuck is Vicky?" It's pretty funny. Kurt Angle versus Eugene for the Kurt Angle's gold medal. Eugene won it on Raw like a month before in the Kurt Angle Invitational. And then Kurt Angle won it back here in Washington, D.C. He stood on a chair and held his head up high like an Olympic gold medalist should. He got a great reaction, as he should. He's an Olympic fucking hero. John Cena versus Chris Jericho, a really good match. And the night after, Jericho left WWE for over 2 years. But he had a great send-off. Well, it was an embarrassing send-off, but it was a great, final match at SummerSlam for a few years at least. Batista versus JBL, no holds barred for the world title. Great match. And Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels. Not a good match, but it's icon versus icon, so I guess it's worth watching for that. Shawn Michaels oversold everything Hogan threw at him. I don't know why, he just did it because he's Shawn fucking Michaels. It's funny. 2006, Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. Chavo injured Rey in a I Quit match. In late 2000. Wait, what? Hold on. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Yeah, Rey faced Chavo 2 SummerSlams in a row, so I was confused. This was their first encounter. Big Show versus Sabu, probably good. Extreme Rules match for the ECW title. Hulk Hogan versus Randy Orton, not a good match, but payoff for Hogan, of course. He had to beat Randy Orton for no apparent reason. Ric Flair versus Mick Foley, obviously a bloody match. It was an I Quit match. Ric Flair called Mick Foley a stuntman, and that means war, so Mick Foley showed Ric Flair some pretty fucking insane stunts. Made him bleed like a stuffed pig. They were both bleeding. It was a great brawl. King Booker versus Batista. I think Booker retained by DQ because Queen Charmel's a slut. Edge versus John Cena. Great main event. Edge retained with the brass knuckles because Lita is a slut. Okay, now 2007. Kane versus Finlay. Probably good, I don't know. Umaga versus Carlito versus Mr. Candy for the IC title. I think Umaga was champion. I think he retained. Rey Mysterio versus Chavo Guerrero. This was Rey's return to WWE. He was injured the year before in a I Quit match. Beth Phoenix won a Divas Battle Royal to face Candice Michelle. Alright. John Morrison versus CM Punk. These two had great matches. Because Chris Benoit did what he did. John Morrison, he was Johnny Nitro, Night of Champions, and he won the ECW title, and then he was John Morrison. He changed his name. They had a great series of matches. Punk did not win the title here, but his time would come. Triple H versus King Booker. Triple H also returned on this SummerSlam. He was injured at New Year's Revolution in the tag team match of DX versus Rated RKO. And of course, King versus King. You know, perfect. Great Khali versus Batista for the World Championship. Yes, Batista was not the champion in this match. The Great Khali was. Remember Great Khali's title reign? I unfortunately do as well. It sucked. John Cena versus Randy Orton was the main event. Great match. Yeah. So, would recommend this collection for historical purposes as well. I only have this one, and I think this is only... No, I have this. I have the 1998 to 2002 SummerSlam Anthology as well. Didn't get any other ones. So for now, I guess I couldn't finish all of it. So this is, for right now, my DVD collection. And I will do more of it at a later date when I have time. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.